see if I can wear this, so let's calm down. It's been like a week and a half. Easy. Now these rigs haven't really gone on them since spring, and since they're all babies, they've probably grown a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's put this third. So I think I'm gonna have to let everything out just a smidge bit, so that way they're comfortable enough to be okay with it. 6. When I'm doing their bidding rig training, it's not actually a competition on getting their heads up high or whatever. It's more or less that they're gonna stay in these for 2 hours. So I need them to be comfortable enough, but get the idea that their head's going to be up, square, and stay there. I'm gonna actually leave his halter on him, since I will be using it to bring him back. This is Vivian. Vivian is 4-year-old? 5, 4. I'm gonna give her a full groom down. So see if you can come in a little bit more. I like to use hairbrushes as curry combs. It kind of helps. Vivian has a very dirty udder and absolutely loves it when I clean it out. Deep up in there. There. That better? Yeah, she's one of my largest horses on the farm. We'll get out the largest one eventually too. Actually, we should probably get her on the walker. Let's get those on the walker so that way they will be worked out. It's a mother-daughter duo. Is my tallest horse and her daughter. Daughter is going to be going to big shows, so she needs to be walked out. Right. No, I do not have 20 hand horses. My tallest one's 18.2. I'm only 5'4". There's a video of me trying on my shorts or my jeans, and I kind of go over the fact that like it's not very big. So she's gonna be out here on the walker. That's Finley. Is it clear today? Can you guys see very well? Sometimes the internet, being from in the middle of the country, gets a little blurry. And we've got Tilly, her mother. Seeing good. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, this one's Tilly. She's the one I have a vet appointment for today. We're gonna find out what's going on with her hind end, hopefully. Probably put her through some injections. Have to drop some dough, that's for sure. Okay, and this one does not want to come undone, so. So this is my tallest one. It's not very big. They are Clydestills. Clydestills kind of tend to be a little smaller than other drafts. And they're off. Let's see if we can't see what I'm talking about. She kind of walks funky in the hind end. Maybe it wouldn't be visible to everybody, but it's not how I like to see my animals move out, so. All right. A baby boy. Had an ass want for peeing in the house this morning. Hopefully that will be done soon. So. This one cannot be trusted on the walker. She's so annoying. She just keeps stopping it. Right? This is a fun piece of equipment from Eastside Harnesses. And this is called a dumb jockey or a tea backer, or that's what I call it. It's a very useful piece of equipment. It imitates as if there's a jockey up there with nice high hands. And yeah, it really helps out with kind of getting them to level out, to position their heads as if there was a human there. Or as if their hands were on without having to do the entire system. Hey. So with this setup, they end up, this is not hard to be taller than me. They go on a chain bridle. Nice, see. Sure like dumps. Very elegant look. Right? Woo! Get over. That is one rank shit you just did. This is a very gentle bit. It's almost too gentle for a horse like her, but it's alright. I would rather work on that. Okay. Make sure it's a good fit still. You don't want your hair pulling it forward. There we go. Want some smile lines. There we go. Then you curl them back. That might be a bit too high. Like I said, when I put these away, it was during summer and spring. Hey. In the spring, all of them were a little bit smaller. So these are some younger animals. That's more realistic. And while they were younger, they were obviously a little smaller, and you'd be surprised how much an inch difference can make in how they're going to hold their heads. This takes 5 inches. There you go. Okay. This is the exact reason why you're going in this rig. You need to curl more. There you go. Tuck, baby, tuck. Still a bit dramatic. This one does not have a tendency to tuck enough, so that's why she's going to be put in a rigging that is completely surely tucking. The next one's going to be, she has a tendency to over tuck, so each horse kind of has to have something that's individual to it. This is Vivian. She is a 5-year-old Clyde. She is a little short in the neck for showing. There we go. And we'll leave them for about 2 hours. With that tuck. All right. Next, I'm gonna get Ellie, and then I'll have to do chores while they're out walking. Good morning, everybody. Okay. This is Ellie. She is my riding one. She is high on the protocol list. Getting shit done. So, Ellie. And it's Ellie's turn to get groomed. Not doing a deep grooming, although I do need to spray off her legs and condition them. So bad. She has absolutely horrible what's called feathering. She's given herself a pretty fucked up mullet too. They're still called feet. That's still a foot. I am in Vermont with my 10 Clydesdale farm. One sandy bitch. They love rolling out in the sand. This is Ellie. Ellie is a 3-year-old Clyde. I'm gonna work a little bit on her stability of not moving her head around. Put this on. This is going to definitely be the last year she fits in this. This is crazy. So she's finally widening out to the point that this is not the best fit. This is what they were originally broken to be trained. And it is meant just for that. Babies, not big girls. But you have become a big girl. See if I can even get it buckled down. That was a good comment. I'm not gonna read it out loud, but anyhow. The features on Ellie I would like to work on is that she does not go in over check. She goes in what's called a side check, where her checks are on the side instead of going over the top of her head. She gets away with this because she is so pretty, but I need her to not be wiggling her head around so much. So I like a give-take relationship. I'm trying to give her a different setup that she's more comfortable in, but she needs to realize that that is me being nice. I know, it's cold bit season. And then she needs to be proper in it. Whew. Right? Okay. Probably going to require going completely out in the bits. And then just straight to the overcheck. Ooh, that took a lot, but we got her up there. So. That will be able to prevent her from tossing it back and forth. This is not the prettiest look, but that's okay. She's simply working on keeping her head up and not rotating it. So she'll just go out like this. Tilly! And she'll go into the barn and I will Awesome. Next, I'm just going to get through the stalls while I'm in here. I don't like leaving the horses when they're in bitting rigs because I don't want them to have like an accident while I'm gone. So this way I have 2 out in the walker, 3 in bitting rigs. 2 are getting a break. Could technically work on a couple others, but this is a pretty good start for the day. Kind of been going through what I call the autumn slap, which is like the back to reality. I'm up in Vermont and the temperatures are starting to drop for starters. And then like the show season kind of is turning down a little bit, so I don't have to worry about as much show prep all the time. However, can't let go of all of it because if I don't stay on top of it a little bit, I'll have much weaker horses for the next show, which there is still technically a few remaining. And yeah. clean up a little bit around the wash rack. Now this is a really heavy load because it's primarily all rocks and pure shit from being outside. But I have to finish a couple of the stalls need to be picked through. This was Finley's stall last night. Finley has to come in because she's on a bigger diet than her pasture mates. I also will need to spray off and recondition her legs so that way they are lickety slick smooth and can fight out having stainage. I would have to say that is the worst part about owning a Clydesdale is the feathering on their lower legs. It is very miserable to maintain and requires a lot of care. They can get a lot of issues with them. Primarily it's just under the term scratches. And scratches causes them to kind of go insane, scratching and pulling out their hair, etc., etc. So gotta nip that in the ass. The hair, also being that it's white, is miserable to keep so. My overalls are falling off. So while they're at the shows, any given moment, we probably have the horses checked for a couple hours. At least between the difference of getting their hair mane braided, and so on and so forth. So you gotta practice at home just having them up. If you don't practice at home, it's just kind of cruel to bring them to a show and then expect them to hold their heads up the entire time. Of course, this isn't something you should stress the horses out with. So like Striker here is quite content. His ears are forward. Kind of going over that. If you don't get them used to it here, then going to a show and expecting them to hold their heads up while you're braiding them, and then while you're waiting on your classes, and then entering your classes, and while you're unhooking, it's kind of cruel. So you've got to practice putting their heads up now. You gotta do some practice at home, so that way they're not miserable when you are at a show. It's kind of like you wouldn't run a mile. You know, don't run a mile a day and then enter an 8-mile run. You wanna run like 8 miles at home before you attempt to run it. It's the same concept. I'm gonna get this stall done, and then I'm going to, actually I'll record a video about the other aspects of show prep that don't include driving, because I do think that a lot of people are confused or worried or wonder about that. Of course, there's always stalls to get done. Although I do like to keep most of my horses outside if possible. Have a lovely sand paddock so that way they can lay down and roll. Horses are obsessed with sand, at least mine are. As long as you don't feed them on it so they don't get sand colic, they absolutely love doing that. two out on the walker, like to stop it. All right, got through this. I'm gonna end up going through making a video about all of the show prep it takes while you're not driving horses, which I haven't driven in a little bit, and how it's time to get revved back up for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, if you're watching this after a live, I hope you follow along so you can catch me on a live. But have a great day, and I'm going to meet up with the vet, make that fun video, and just sort of do my thing.